Tim, in the book, it's so clear that your Catholic background is important to you. I guess what I'm intrigued by is lots of people are cultural Catholics, and you are a cultural Catholic, but you're not just a cultural Catholic. The book brings across a man who is also a spiritual or a faith-filled guy. How did you move past being just a cultural Catholic to being a real believer?
I believe I was baptized a Catholic as a baby, and obviously didn't quite know what that entailed. But then going to Holy Family School, St. Bonaventure School, Canisius High School, John Carroll University, I met wonderful men and women, religious, Sisters of Mercy and the Jesuits, who really explained to me what it meant to have faith the best they could, but also underscored that in the end it is faith.
Yeah.
I had Sister Mary Lucille in 7th grade who started a school newspaper. She brought me into the class and told all the other students to leave, and she said, I need a vehicle to channel your excessive energy. You're the editor. It changed my life. It was my first involvement with journalism. It gave me enormous sense of fulfillment, and it wasn't just being the editor and reporter, it was being the publisher and the salesman and the whole, everything, all facets of it. And she's the one who encouraged me to go to Canisius High School, the Jesuit high school, way on the other side of the city that really was not a place that I felt I'd be comfortable at because it was largely sons of doctors and lawyers and more, quote, accomplished people. But I realized once I went there that the way I had been brought up and the training I had received from the Sisters of Mercy, I encountered Father John Sturm, S.J., the prefect of discipline, as he was called, who put me against the locker one day for some perceived indiscretion. And I said, Father, don't you believe in mercy? He said, Russert, mercy's for God. I deliver justice. It changed my life. I realized that accountability and discipline were also part of faith. And my dad would reinforce that. If I went home and complained, he'd say, you're grounded for 2 weeks. Whether the father was right or wrong, this is what happened. And then it's a journey. And as you go through your teenage years and you go through your college years, you wonder about Catholicism and faith, and you study other world religions, which I have. But I kept, inside of me, understood that I was a Catholic and that I loved the Church. And that it was also a way, a vehicle, for me to try to fulfill and live out the gospel of Christ, which is important to me. I got deeply involved in the Boys and Girls Clubs here in Washington and other charitable groups because in the end, St. Luke, to whom much is given, much is expected. And I took that to heart. The TV Guide one time wrote a column and said, Russert, who admits to being a practicing Catholic.
As if it's something bad.
I had been outed. My God, he's one of those. But I'm very proud of being a Catholic.
Yeah.
And I have my shortcomings like everybody, but I do my very, very best. And it is something that is at my core.